Thank you so much for that presentation, Ryan. And I was making some notes and I got some great takeaways, and I think they apply to life as well. Learn, make, repeat. I love that. Learn, make, repeat, and then taste your mistakes. I love to cook, and that's one of the things that you do. You have to taste your mistakes, so you know sort of what you did wrong. And then the last thing that I'll really take to heart and really remember is closed doors can be opened, and you don't stop at closed doors. You keep persevering and keep going. I think about you and the 10 days you had to completely reconceive your brand. That's inspiring. Okay, so we have some questions. Let's see. Wynette would like to know, do you make any products other than bars with your chocolate? Do you make anything other than bars, or is your focus right now just on bars?
For now, we are focusing on bar because the packaging it's tough to find the reasonable price here locally for the factor, and we have to find a way, but not in 2020, in 2022. But the good things, we made even our packaging, it's local. We have a small factory here, but for example, the Baraline chocolate, we have to find some supplier for the plastic tray and for the hard paper. So it's not easy to find a reasonable price here, it will affect on our production line. So we keep it on the bar, and for us it's fine this year to stay with the bar, and we maybe next year.
All right, let's see. Scholar Network, you have your hand raised. Let's see, did you put your question in the chat? Okay, I'm gonna, let's see. Oh, no, their hand went back down. All right, so then we have another question. I'm not sure who's joining us from the FCIA, but someone is here with us from FCIA, and they want to know, are your bars available in any Middle Eastern or specialty food stores in the US?
No.
No. Yeah. It's a logistics issue, right? How do you get it here?
Also, we have to complete all the license for export with Saudi for Food and Drugs Authority, and maybe it's my aim to start export my chocolate to the world and to be joined to other festival and competition. But we have to follow the regulation right now, and they doing well with us, and they understand how it's important to be involved in competition or festival around the world, because it will present the name of the kingdom and the local business. It's yeah. But for now, no. We hope, and we are working on this, but it takes time. We have to trust the process in this situation.
I see Mrs. Balu has turned on her camera, so I think she would like to come in. Come on in, Mrs. Balu.
No, I just want to know if anybody wants to ask a question, we can unmute them and we can allow them to talk. Like Scholar Network, we can allow them to talk and see if they want to ask questions.
Yes, I had mentioned that, and I was about to do it, and then they put their hand down. So Scholar Network, if you would like to come on live and ask your question, if you'll let us know by raising your hand again, that would be great. And if you don't know, that raise hand function is at the bottom of your Zoom screen. There's a raise hand function, and we'll open your mic and let you ask your question live. But we do have another question in the chat. Tanisha would like to know, are the bars halal?
Yes, it's 100% halal, because when I start learning about chocolate and food and beverage industry, I found it's similar to kosher certificate. Halal and kosher, it's same, the principle. Yeah, we are halal, but we don't have the certificate. We have to work on it because also the regulation here is changed, and they asking that each company to have their own halal certificate. So we are halal. We don't use any I don't know how to describe, but we are halal 100%. We are halal. We cannot work without halal.
Very good. Thank you. Will you do me a favor, Ryan, and stop sharing your screen, and that way we'll be able to see
Yes.
we'll see you more fully. And then if you can, in just a few words, can you explain for those that may not know what halal means?
Okay. Okay. Where we belong, alcoholic and pork, it's not allowed to Muslim to eat and drink. So halal, it's kind of certificate that showing it's not exist. This product is not doesn't exist in this ingredients. It's not exist in this product, and it's for Muslim, as the kosher for Jewish. So it's both to show there is no pork or alcohol in this product.
Thank you. Thank you for explaining that to those that may not know. Okay, let's see. Don't be shy. Feel free to put your questions in the chat. Also, oh, wait a minute. I see a hand up. Uh-oh, I lost. What's happening here? I think my mouse died. Okay, let's see. Who has their, okay, 𝗙CIA, I'm going to allow you to talk, ask you to unmute, and you're welcome to come on in and ask your question.
Hi, this is Effie with 𝗙CIA.
Hi, Effie, welcome.
Thank you. I love the presentation. I love the bars. And I'm curious to find out what the fine chocolate market is like in Saudi Arabia. Who are the consumers? Are they millennials? Are they older, affluent people that are interested in trying chocolate? Who's buying chocolate right now?
Okay. The average of age, it's above 35, because the youth and teenagers, they love to sugar. So they doesn't like 70% or 100% chocolate recipes. Vegan, it's very important to us to serve the vegan because, you know, it's not always exist in the market, the products which is fine chocolate, but in general, the consumption here in Saudi, it's totally different. They love the filling, pistachio, other flavors, salted caramel, such as like this, the mass production, they are not looking for the chocolate itself. They love to play around the chocolates with filling, such as pistachio, salted caramel. So we try to, we have a project now. It's to redefinition the chocolate in Arab, in Saudi at least. We have to find, we have to find our own definition about chocolate, which is this is fine, this is candy. When we can classification the chocolate, classify the chocolate. So we're still working in the project. We are going to announce this project in the third quarter of this year with government, because it's very important to know and to clarify this with the local community. Chocolate, it doesn't mean candy or sweet. It's totally different. We can consider as a food.
It is, yes.
Yeah. So we have this is knowledge. We have to educate. First, I have to educate myself, and then I can to educate others. That's why we came. You know, it's about the consumer behavior. which is not we cannot manage this. It's not in our hand. But how to handle this situation, or can we work with that? That's why we start our YouTube. We make some videos to describe to the people. We cannot just talk about chocolate because they think we are just marketing ourselves or our products. No, we have to make a knowledge center with others, not only the chocolate, or even with cheese or specialty coffee, because not all the specialty coffee, they offer specialty coffee. When they add milk or when they add sugar to the chocolate, the coffee, it's not came specialty. So yeah, we have to find and made our definition of specialty and fine for chocolate and coffee. So yeah, it's not. We still work in that way, and soon we can announce what we are doing with this situation.
I look forward to it.
Thank you, Effie, for the question. It always makes me think, and it's a common, I think, obstacle or a common thing that chocolate makers have is, or bean to bar chocolate makers have is, not only do you have to do all of the other work that you've just described, but then it falls on you to re-educate or educate the consumer that there's a good reason to buy, you know, what you have, and change the conception of what people already think of as chocolate. So I don't like to use the word obstacle. It's just something that you have to do.
It's a challenge, but and the challenge is, you know, most people start eating candy when they're little kids, and so their palate is used to that. And so when you introduce the true chocolate, they're not familiar with that, and so it's retraining their palate.
Yes, thank you.
We try to show the trustability of the business.
That's important.
Yes, and the sustainability about the business. Yeah, this is business. In the end, yeah, we are opening this company for make money, but we have our principle. We have ethics about how we earn money from the market. It's not just a candy, and there is no guilty to eat fine chocolate. It's not same the candy in the supermarket or in the mini market. My daughter, she's 4 years old. She loved my chocolate because since we start around 3 years ago, she started eating my chocolate. But my younger boy, he's not willing to eat the fine chocolate. So we try with the experience. But you know, trustability, it's very important. And sustainability to educate the people, to educate the local market. When they saw our struggle, our trip to Africa, and we hope to India this year, and maybe next year to Southern America, and they can see how we meet other people, how we try to figure the good beans quality, they will understand. They will understand, because it's not, for me, I always remember myself. It's not, you cannot evaluate the chocolate out of 10. It's not like this. It's not just I like it or I dislike it. No, it's, you have to be involved in the aroma, in the taste, in the flavor, in the process. Yeah, it's long story about how you make the chocolate. So we do the best now. We do the best to figure out how we can enhance the people or encourage them to start consume the fine chocolate, not the fine brand, the fine quality. It doesn't depend in the brand, because here in the local market they recognize the chocolate depend on the country. Even they doesn't understand where we're talking about in general, they doesn't know where the actual cacao comes from. Right. So they just say Belgium chocolate or French chocolate or Switzerland chocolate. Yeah, there is mass, there is fine in each country, but you know which origin your cacao, they doesn't know. When it's same the coffee. I like Ethiopian coffee, so because it's natural process and citrus flavor and like this, they cannot recognize or they cannot find these things in the mass production. So that's why I'm educate myself first and doing research, connecting with 𝗙𝗂𝗃. I love the message, the emails each week I receive from them, from you guys, because it's keep me engaged in this business more and more, keep me trying to build my strategy of how we introduce the chocolate in Saudi Arabia. Today, I can say, yeah, we introduced chocolate maker, the Saudi chocolate maker, to the world, but we start other mission. It's introduce the local community to their own local flavor, or how to find the flavor map for Saudi market. It's very important. It's not about the marketing or just post some Instagram post. No, how we keep the people engaged in the wedding, in their gathering, how we can make sure they consume the right chocolate or the fine chocolate. It's very important to us.
It is, and the webinar that we did on January 13th with 𝗂�57, that's a Mexican chocolate maker, and cocoa is from Mexico, but yet the people in Mexico were not used to their own chocolate. They were eating chocolate like the candy chocolate, like the Snickers and the Hershey's. And so they had to do the same thing, and they're using local ingredients like local coffee, local peppers, and putting those local flavors into the chocolate bar to tell the story of their country and their culture.
Yeah, in our situation, we involve the sugar. We add the sugar dates to our recipes, and we add some sesame and coffee, because in southern region of Saudi they plant large coffee farm. So yeah, we try, but we have to restructure the how to look to the chocolate, or how we know the chocolate. We have to work many things. We're doing many things with the chocolate in local. We use camel milk also from India. We have the culture, in our culture, the camel is very important animal. So we already had import the camel milk from India, and we try to see this is different. When you taste the milk chocolate with cows or with goats or with camels, each one of it, it has this different characters, different taste, different flavor. But you know, when people consume, as you mentioned, from from child, same chocolate without flavor, less aroma, they will distinguish from your chocolate, because they say, yeah, your chocolate comes with a different aroma, or sour, or acidity. This is the fine chocolate. We cannot, even me, when I make my batch, each batch from season to season in the same recipe, it came different taste, because maybe the temperature little bit higher, maybe lower. So but each one, it came with own taste.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to learn, and we have to make to involve ourselves in more webinars, and meet some, such as this guy from Mexico, and how he play with the local ingredients to get attention from the market or the local community. It's very important.
Okay, thank you. Mrs. Balu, I noticed that you had your hand up. Would you like to come and join the conversation?
Yeah, I think 𝗙𝗃 asked most of the questions, but the only thing I want to ask Rayed is, Rayed, you said there is a temperature is so high in your country, so it's hard to sell as bars. But like some other, somebody else asked the question in the chat, have you tried making the, as other things? For example, in Nigeria, they may, mix it with the cassava and make it granola, instead of like the granola, they call it garinola because Gary is the name for the cassava in their language. So those things they don't need refrigeration, and also it's easy for people to start consuming the dark chocolate in a hidden form, and then they get more taste for the bars. So have you thought about any of those things?
Yeah, we try to make some brownies with the chocolate.
Mm.
We try to make some hot chocolate also. We try, but not with our friends, because I keep myself busy and make chocolate, because other things it will distribute me, at least in this moment, because I have to take care about the packaging and branding, making content. Yeah, it's not one mission, it's multitasking. So we ask our friends, but they love the mass production because the cacao butter content, it's high, so it's melt easy. And I try to describe, try our chocolate, but it's not melt same as the mass, and not sweet as the mass. In the end, the price and cost, it will affect on them. So they said, no, we cannot. Okay, we understand the quality, we understand the health benefit from using your chocolate, but we cannot because of the cost. And we have something we need to educate ourselves about it. The cost, it doesn't exist to the human effort. We have to protect the human effort, because we cannot play with this. We cannot manage this part. We have big formula. We cannot play with numbers here and here, with marketing, with packaging. But human efforts, we have to protect them, because it's the most important things in this business, to make chocolate. So yeah, we try, and we will keep trying.
Especially when you said you grow cocoa, because the first time you said, I said, because when we think of Saudi Arabia, we think about the desert, the sandstorms, the camels.
Okay.
And you said cocoa. I said, what? Do you have cocoa? And then you explained how, you have different climates and the cocoa is there.
Let me tell you something, because many people, they embracing about cacao in Saudi Arabia plantation. See, Saudi Arabia, the size of Saudi Arabia, it's same the size of Texas, okay? But the different, in the north of Saudi Arabia, they plant olive. There is one of the biggest olive farm in the world. It's in the Saudi Arabia. Then if you go to the west, you can, in Tabuk, there is snow in Tabuk. See, then if you go in the southern, there is a cacao farm, mango farm, tropical weather. So Saudi, it's not, each region have their own weather, they have own local ingredients. So Saudi Arabia, it's, we have the empty quarter desert in the world, but we have different regions, so we have different weather, and it's amazing. It's amazing.
I see in the attendees, we have a lot of our chocolate making friends. This I think might be a great opportunity if someone wants to come forward and, sort of pick the brain of a fellow chocolate maker, or, talk about some struggle that you're having, and, almost like our networking events that we do. Anybody want to come forward and have a kind of chocolate making process conversation? I don't want to call on people specifically, but I might. For example, you talk about that you use camel milk. And in the chocolate making process, do you find some obstacles? I know there are some challenges with using milk altogether, but is there a difference when you're using the camel milk versus the cow's milk? Can you talk about that a little bit?
You know, camel milk, it came with sour taste. And it reflect on your recipe. So you have to process this by roasting and toasting the milk in the oven. So try this is the way I'm still trying to figure out how to hide the sour taste in the camel milk. But in the cow, you cannot find this issue. So you just process directly to your grinder. You're just adding. In camel still, and the expired date, it's 6 months. So there is many struggle with camel milk. But when I was start this take this jump, it's let me see the differentiation between the milk. The cheap milk, it's not the cow not the same, the goat it's not same, the camel. So that's give me more enhance my experience first and my taste when I taste something, and I'm trying to find the right recipe. It can encourage the people to start consume the chocolate, because when I start with the blue sobrolina, for example, if you saw it in the image in the last passion fruit, even herbs from Saudi, local herbs, to give the people or the consumer hint about how many flavor we can play in chocolate and how many we can involve in our processing. But still, I'm looking for the right formula to encourage people to consume chocolate, but it not came in one night. So I have to figure out, to study. Even me, I have to learn more by practical and by tasting other chocolate, because this is the small window. We have a small window in each year. It starts from the end of December until end of March, where I can import chocolate from other makers around the world. So I have this year, I already do my searching, and I already take some of them. I have from Manor this year from Hawaii. So it's long distance in the summer, it will melt directly. So because why? I have to feel the differentiation about flavors, about the makers. Chinese, they love to involve the tea in their chocolate, for example. Japanese, they love, they add matcha. European, they add some berries and fruits. Yeah, I have to learn more. I have to not just making chocolate, my own chocolate, and taste my own chocolate. No, I have to taste other chocolate, other makers, and make some discussion with them about how can I marketing my business here, because they love to share the knowledge, and we are in the different part of the world, so there is no competition at all. So they feel free to share their knowledge and experience. And some of them they came to learn how to manage your production, because it's very important how to manage your. Sometimes you just feel your emotion when you make some batches or micro batch about, oh, they will love this recipe. No, not all. I have someday I consume by myself. Some batches I have to consume it. I have to eat by myself. No one willing to eat. So yeah, it's long, but we have to trust the process. I always remember myself, trust the process and keep digging. You cannot wait. You have to rely on yourself and jump into any chance that can enhance your experience, your knowledge. Yes.
Okay, great. So it's interesting that I personally, that flavor and consuming the bar, that's what I love. But working for machine manufacturer, working for Cocotown, my thought was, I know there's differences in, for example, the different types of sugar and how it affects the grinding process. And I was wondering, and for those that haven't made chocolate, if we have any new folks, you're using a powdered form, right? You can't use a wet form of the milk. And what I was wondering is, do you find that there's a difference when you're grinding, you know, when you add that milk, something happens in the machine, right? You have the heat and the milk and things start to get, it can.
Yeah, when I add milk, I have to be close to the machine because the temperature, it goes up directly. So, and the texture of the chocolate, it came rough. So the machine, it's, you fill your grinder, the stone, it doesn't move smoothly. You have to manage when you can add the milk, the butter, so you can, to make sure it will run smoothly, the stone roller. So yeah, it's not easy to make milk chocolate, because you have to be close to your machine, because it's the temperature, if it goes up above 50 Celsius, it will destroy your batches. So you have to be close. That's why when I put my schedule about what time I make milk chocolate or milk chocolate or deep milk chocolate, I have to put it in the early morning, because I will be ensure I'm very close to my machine. If something goes wrong, I can avoid destroy my batches, because in the end it will reflect in my accounting. So yeah, not easy. Adding milk, not easy. Even with the milk, camel milk, it's very, very tough, because I have to raise the amount of the butter, because yeah, it's liquidity. But there is other maker in Europe. He invited me to come and to learn how to process the milk, because milk, it's different, and from their experience, because they start for a couple of years and they already have the knowledge. So he invited me. I'm thankful for him to be discover this part, because the temperature, just when you add the milk, it's totally, it will destroy your batches if something goes wrong. Same the sugar. The sugar, I learned by time, if I add the sugar early, I will lose, maybe I will keep some distinguished flavor aroma in my chocolate. But when I put it later, maybe I will lose some aromas, which is, it's very sensitive. It's not just put it all in the grinder, and the grinder, it will do all the things by itself. No, there is, you have to manage. It's not, it's same the musical note. You have to be very careful, because in the end it will affect in your how you listen to the music. So it's same. Yeah, it's not, some of my friends, they think it just throw all the ingredients and the machine, it will handle with itself. No. This is not
It's a fine art.
Yes.
In that respect, we have a question. Does the camel milk have an effect on tempering? I know tempering can be an interesting part of the process. And does camel milk affect that?
No, it's same the cow. We don't find it's almost same, but we have to arrange the right temperature for the milk and molded. No, we just figure out in the grinding, not in the tempering. Okay.
We do have another question. Can you talk about, I know that you do use date sugar. So can you talk about date sugar in the flavor, in the process, how, anything you can share with us about telling your regional story by using the date sugar?
Okay, I will be first honest, because for me, I don't prefer to add sugar date to my chocolate, because there is some things you cannot its effect on your chocolate. That's why I don't prefer to add chocolate. This lesson I take it, I understand it after tasting milk chocolate and with International Institute of Chocolate Tasting. Why? If we make two recipes, 60% one sugar cane and the other sugar dates, totally the amount of sweetness, it's different. And with sugar dates, it came more sour. There is deep flavor, but the sourness, it's kill the enjoyment. Also its effect on the heavy body. When it melts in your tongue, you feel the sweetness, it's so far, and the sourness, it doesn't it distribute the enjoyment. So yeah, so sugar dates, it's good for healthy, okay, but not it's deepening your flavor. So you have to find the right recipes. Maybe we try to roast different profile, and we came with different different knowledge identity with the sugar. For example, if I'm going to add make some recipe, 60% recipe batch, so I have to roast darker or roast more my beans more, just to balance between the sourness and the sweetness in my recipe. So, but it's take process also more process, but I don't prefer adding sugar. I love for my mom, because the diabetes and other who's have health issue, it's good with small amount, around, for example, 85%. It's good. You cannot feel the sourness because you just add little of the sugar dates. But in the higher range, 30% of sugar canes or 40, I don't prefer to make this recipe at all. I was doing in the past, but now now.
So do you think that you might use dates as an inclusion, or is that just right now something that, because what you've learned about the flavor pairing?
The good things, but there is the good things. We can use sugar dates as filling, because the caramelized, it's caramelized when we add some butter, the taste is like caramel, but it's we call it Bedouin's caramel, because it's from our from desert. So yeah, the taste, we like it in this way, as a feeling, not as a main ingredients in our batches. So we do it beside the chocolate, our chocolate. So yeah, it's came with good flavor. This is the good things.
Wow, I love that. So it creates sort of a caramel note that pairs better than grinding it with the chocolate.
Yes, and it's dusty. Working with dates, it's tough, because you will you will find your lab, all over your lab, it's like dust, because it's too much heavy, lighter the weight. So you have to be careful when you handling with sugar dates.
Mrs. Balu, you want to come in and join the conversation?
No, go ahead. I think he's saying a lot of things that I'm trying to learn, a lot of new stuff. So
sure. I really would like to again extend the invitation to some of our chocolate making folks from around the world. If you want to come on in and talk about maybe what you're doing in your region, or anything that you could add to the conversation. I was saying before, I don't want to pick on anybody specifically, but I see a few names in there that I would love for you to come in and join the conversation.
okay. until other people are thinking, maybe I can ask one more question to Rayat. Rayat, when we came to Saudi Arabia, I got different forms of date, like a date syrup, date sugar, date cream. Each one had a different taste. Have you tried anything else as an inclusion or in the bar, or even as a sweetener, like the date syrup? I know you said date sugar is too powdery, dusty, it's hard, but have you tried with the date syrup? I know it has some water, so it might affect the tempering process, but I'm trying to learn from you. What's your experience?
Yeah, because also I would like to know about contamination about my chocolate, because bad recipes or bad ingredients, if you don't know how to treat, it can causes damage for health for others. So we try to be in the safe way. We try to avoid the wet ingredients with our chocolate, because we still need to doing many things. But you remember when you mentioned me the sesame, we're doing fine with sesame. Sesame, it's one of most because it's in our culture. When we are making some chocolate with tahini taste, people love it. People comes more because the note of the taste, it's familiar, and they already. But we play with chocolate syrup and the other wet ingredients. I'm not willing to work now with it, because it's need a clear mind, at least in this moment, and need to concentrate more about if it goes wrong, these ingredients, it will contaminate the storage. We have to figure a lot of things. We enjoy in our journey now, and we keep some of them for the future, because if we go we will distribute ourselves if we are going to try for sugar dates, the syrup, or that we cannot make it all, because it will affect in the production also. So we try to give us small space to develop our skills and our recipes, but without effect with the wet ingredients, for now at least.
But have you tried the date syrup for your brownies, for example? Because there the tempering is not important. So the brownie has a lot of sugar. Have you tried substituting with the date syrup or date, in that one?
As I mentioned, I don't make the brownie. My friend, they do the brownie, but maybe I can mention to them to use the syrup, for example, because I love to take many tasks, to do many things. As my father told me, you are the runner, so you have to run everywhere. But I have to be focused and give everything their own concentration. I have to be concentrated, because I'm graphic designer and doing chocolate and making content. It's not easy to manage all of these alone. Even Ron, it's not here now, so a lot of work in my shoulders right now. So I try to play with the basic, make chocolate, add new ingredients. But brownie, it's not our core business. We try to help our friend. That's why we work in some small projects now, and we can ensure there is talented people in Saudi. They make pastries, sweets, but we need to encourage them in our next project, so we can provide fine chocolate, and they can provide their talent in what they what they love to do, because they passionate in brownies and or croissants or sweets. So we can provide chocolate to them. But for me, we are not going to try something. It's not in our core business right now, because the labor issues, the cost of production and running the production line. Yeah, there is a lot of factors. It's block us to try different things, new things.
So I think I don't see anyone else raising hands or coming up with the questions. So maybe we can, anything else, Teresa?
Well, I was just thinking about the climate. Is that friend or foe in the chocolate making process? I know that for a lot of regions, you know, humidity or temperature. I think of the climate where you are, and you'll correct me if I'm wrong, that it's dry most of the time. It's dry and hot.
Yeah, but at least it's dry. So at least it's dry. Because the hot, we can use air condition and we can cooler and something like this. It's easy. But humidity, it's one of the worst things to have. And sometimes when the rainy days, it came more wet. So we have to use humidifier to make sure there is no humidity in the place where we work. And we sometimes we lose by the dryness. Even the dryness, it's not good every time, because maybe it will affect in your chocolate also. So we have balance. It's making chocolate, as I understand, as figure, it's making balance, but avoid the humidity. Yeah, avoid humidity and make your balance. Because sometime when I was in Tanzania, before I was in Tanzania, I received invitation from the embassy here in Riyadh that's asked me to, if you are going to make chocolate, why you start from Tanzania, build your factory, small factory from Tanzania. When I went there and I discussed with Mr. Simran about the possibility to make in Tanzania, the weather, it's against me. To be making chocolate in Saudi, it's better than from Tanzania. In the different side, in Nairobi, for example, where we develop some project now, it's better to 𝗲𝗃 because it's the high altitude, it's the humidity, it's less than what we figure in 𝗲𝗃. So it's balance. We try to find balance. You cannot say this is the right formula. You have to find balance. You have to adjust it from time to time.
Right. As soon as you find the right formula, something changes and you have to pivot with whatever formula you have. Yeah. It's not a one and done kind of deal, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
All right. Well, so we're getting close to the top of the hour. Anybody want to put a question in the chat or raise your hand and just come on and say hi to Rayed or share any thoughts you have? We have a shy audience today. It happens.
Yeah. So I think we can wrap up.
Okay, Rayed, any last words before we end today? Anything that you have on your heart or your mind that you want to share?
Actually, I appreciate to having me today, and hope this year, or when it's be possible, to visit Cocoa Town in Atlanta and learn more about the machine and maintenance, which is very important, and visit other makers around the states, because it's very important to be engaged with other makers to develop your talent, enhance your experience. And there is struggle everywhere. Every makers have his own struggle, but maybe they can share with you something. It can bright your idea, bright your struggling, find the light in the end of the tunnel, which is by sharing the knowledge, you can avoid mistakes. Even with taste, you can avoid the mistake, because people doesn't like to be in the make mistake, even when you in your journey to learn. And I always appreciate Mrs. Andel and Mr. Balu for their kindness and helping me in the worst time ever in the world. 2020 it wasn't easy year to us and to the rest of the world. And again, thank you for having me tonight. And it was my pleasure to hear and to announce that Saudi, we have a Saudi chocolate maker. They trying to make their chocolate with inspired by their ingredients, local ingredients. And thank you again.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. Mrs. Balu, I'm going to give you the last word.
Yeah, thank you, Rayad, for your time, and thank you all the participants, because without participants, this webinar doesn't have any meaning. So thank you all for spending your precious weekend time with us. And this Rayad's webinar is a great segue for our next webinar coming up in February. And that's going to be on how to scale up your recipes. What all the things you have to look for. It's from a chef in India. He has written a lot of books on different things, and he is a great mentor. So I hope you all enjoy that webinar also. So we look forward to more webinars, more engaging webinars. And thank you all. So Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Good day to you all.
I wanted to just quickly say we have a packed schedule, so don't miss. We've got a lot of great things coming up of webinars.
Yeah. So if you all have any other questions, you always send it in an email, and then we can get the answers from Rayad and post it on our FAQ. So it's okay if we think of something else later. It's not too late. You can always send us the questions. So thank you all.
Thank you.